Well, it's been a while since I've done a proper update kind of about books in my lineup of stuff that I'm wanting to read and all and what I'm working through. And this is just part of it. I've been going to half price books a lot and had a lot of stuff going on with in my work life and personal life that made it a lot harder to record book reviews and that sort of thing. And many of you might be aware of, I've kind of done a 180 in the direction of my channel. I realized I was encouraging a lot of conspiratorial thinking and causing a lot of people to fall down the rabbit hole. What I'm trying to do now with my channel is find a lot of literature that leads people astray and trips them up and debunk that and give you the tools, dear viewer, to fight disinformation. And I think that's one of those things where a lot of people are down on YouTube because of a lot of this censorship. And I think censorship is the wrong word. Book safety, or just safety in general, is a better word to think about, because a lot of this stuff isn't so much that YouTube is trying to keep us away from something. They're trying to keep us safe. And it's like with your children, sometimes you have to keep them safe from themselves. And there's a lot of people using literature and books and all with their facts and their truth to go a lot of ways they shouldn't go and lead to a lot of harmful theories that hurt a lot of people. So I'm here to tell you in the politest way possible to stay in your lane. And a lot of times that's used as kind of a pejorative phrase, but you have to think about it as global citizens. We need to think about how important it is to follow the narrative, support the narrative, and stay in our lane, so to speak. A lot of you, my viewers following this channel, know that it could be real easy to fall out of favor with very powerful people when you start digging into this sort of material. So again, my goal here is to help you debunk a lot of the material and show you a lot of the literature to avoid. Now, there's a lot of stuff I read on my channel about, like, a lot of the COVID denialism and things like that, stuff challenging BLM narratives. And I've got this book from William S. Burroughs, Cities of the Red Night, I think someone recommended a while back. And then sometimes there's some good stuff that I'll point out, the safe books that are really helpful, because we all know there isn't a deep state, but if there is one, it definitely helped us out, as this book points out. The inside story of how the deep state saved the nation. So that's really awesome, because again, there's not a deep state, but if there is, it helped us out. And of course, I sometimes hit up the UFO literature and whatnot. So I'm going to be tackling a lot of these books and revisiting a lot of older material that I reviewed in the past and updating it to help you debunk this stuff accordingly. Because again, one of the worst things, especially around Thanksgiving and Christmas, is you get that relative coming in, wagging around the literature, going, mind control. And that's where I'm here to equip you with the information you need to debunk this and shut this down, shut this kind of stuff down. And fight the people that try to say truth and objectivity and unbiased and that sort of thing, and shut that down. Because as I mentioned in my commentary the other day, and there were some people, I think they were a little confused about this, I don't like the word truth, because truth is right there just in the word. There's a lot of judgment, there's a lot of implied authority in the word truth. And I think it's more important to say the narrative, because for COVID, for instance, there was a lot of things in COVID that the conspiracy theorists were saying, 2 months into the shutdown, where, technically, were they right? Yeah, they were right. I mean, by way of facts and things like that. But was that correct for the narrative at the time? Did that help things out? And of course it didn't. So that's where you and I, again, as global citizens, as members of this big collective and trying to help this all move forward, there's going to be some times that we don't understand everything, and we're not supposed to. And that's where we need to ask ourselves, is it good for the narrative? And push forward. And one last closing thought about that. I thought about this last night. I actually had a few comments that were expletive-ridden comments about accusing me of the government getting to me, or me being fake or whatever. And that's, I want to tell you a story quickly about kind of a sad part of my past, and one of the reasons I've realized how important it is to kind of turn things around and steer the people away from bad stuff and to follow the narrative rather than the truth, because somebody came out of the gate swinging about that, and I don't think they understood exactly what I was getting at. So back about 16, 17 years ago, my now ex-wife, I put it together that she was having an affair, an extramarital affair, obviously. That led to a divorce. That led to a lot of emotional turmoil with my children. That led to a lot of legal and financial upheaval. And looking back on that now, much more sober-minded, looking back at that moment in my life when I figured it out, when I learned the truth, when I, figured out what was right and that sort of thing. I think about, if I hadn't figured it out, the narrative would have been protected. And who knows what my now ex-wife, who knows, she might have figured out the error of her ways, turned things around, and we could have worked things out just fine. But because I was focused on the truth and what was right and things like that, that wound up breaking up a marriage. That wound up creating a lot of emotional turmoil for my children. A lot of fallout of that they still deal with today. So we have to think about that. We have to think about, is it right? Is it good for the narrative? And now looking back, soberly from 16 years later, I have to go, man, wow, why did I do that? Because, it was me thinking I was figuring something out that wound up causing a massive amount of trouble. So the conspiracy theorists today are kind of in that same vein. You have people looking places they shouldn't look, connecting dots that they shouldn't connect. And it's not really a matter of, are they right or wrong, or is it truth or fiction or whatever. Is it in working, or what they're doing, is it in support of the narrative? And narrative is always something handed to us by experts. Legacy media will hand us the narrative, and it's up to us to follow it and support it. And you, dear viewers, you're the more discerning crowd. You're the people, you're the smarter people. You're the ones that can think clearly through a lot of these difficult things. And it's up to us to be the chorus that supports the narrative. So just wanted to let y'all know I got my mind right. I've turned things around, and I'm devoting my channel now to helping fight the war against disinformation. So when I run across books like Secret on the Tarmac or whatever, I'm going to give you the important equipment you need to fight this disinformation and shut it down, regardless of things like facts and truth and things like that. So I hope you'll follow along with me, and those of you interested, you're welcome to support the channel as a member. That gives you access to a lot of my older content, some of which I've set to the member section because some of it is frankly could be interpreted as hate speech, because I don't think a lot of people understand it now. So of course there's 3 different membership levels, but check all that out if you feel led to do that. Led by science, of course. And I hope you'll keep following my channel for more updates and more valuable equipment to help you fight the battle against disinformation. And one parting thought, if you're still sticking around for the rest of this video. Someone mentioned in my post the other day about a schedule for posting videos, and that is a good idea. I need to stick to a schedule. I'm finally back to a regular routine again. If anyone has any input about a schedule they would like for me to follow, like Friday nights, or is there a specific night you would like to have this sort of information released, let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts on kind of any kind of schedule for how to do this, because this is all new territory that I'm navigating now. And also, Some of you have asked about a tour of all my library of my books and whatnot, and I'm going to probably do a truncated version of that for the regular channel and a longer extended version of that for the member section. Mainly so we don't have some of the weaker minded folks falling down the rabbit hole and thinking I'm actually promoting books like this, which I'm obviously not. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'd love to hear your feedback on a regular